everybody? I'm Chase Gibson. College game day. LSU hosting Florida. Florida heading into the most intimidating atmosphere in college football. Well, LSU looking for revenge to justify Florida's upset last season. And to help me discuss that and all the other great games this weekend, I welcome Will Stewart, my co-host. So I run a different setting. It was absolutely pouring outside, and our camera couldn't get wet. So now we're here, and we've got Ben Hicks back on the show. Ben, how you doing?
Doing good, Chase. Thanks for having me on.
Anytime. All right, so let's get right to it. Saturday's slate, and we're going to start with the Red River rivalry, Texas and Oklahoma. Ben, we're going to start with you. What do you find most intriguing about this matchup?
I think it's the quarterback play in this one between Sam Ellinger and Jalen Hurts. Both have looked good this year, but Jalen Hurts has been great. Both teams need to get this win for playoff votes because Oklahoma, if they lose this one, it's going to be tough getting in with the likes of Ohio State, Alabama, Clemson, LSU, Georgia, and Texas with already one loss to LSU. They're going to need a big statement win to have the committee's eye on them. So I think it's going to come down to quarterbacks to lead their team.
Yeah, exactly. And we've already seen Sam Ellinger was absolutely phenomenal against LSU. So when you're comparing LSU to Oklahoma, you know LSU's defense is better. So, the question coming in is, it's not just not about Sam Ellinger either, because going back to LSU and Texas has played LSU. Who has Oklahoma played?
Houston
has been their best opponent so far this year. Not even Power 5.
It's Houston.
So what do you think that? I'm not talking about their offense because we know it's phenomenal. Yeah. What does their defense have to do to be able to step up and contain Sam Ellinger and Colin Johnson?
You're going to have to know what Sam Ellinger does. Watch a lot of tape. Know who's going to throw it to. Main receivers, tight ends.
Runs the
ball.
He's dual threat.
Just be smart.
Yeah.
Main thing. Just don't make dumb mistakes.
Yeah.
You know.
And they have a senior linebacker, Caleb Kelly.
I know he can be smart and make good decisions, so just do that and it's going to be good.
All right, Lincoln Riley's not much of a defensive coach, though, so this is going to be hard for him. On the other side of the ball, Texas allowed 45 points to LSU, and that's when LSU started to get going. So, Ben, the Texas defense, they've struggled.
Yeah.
Comparing LSU to Oklahoma, what does the defense have to do for Texas to be able to lock down Jalen Hurts?
Well, it's going to be a typical Big 12 game. There's going to be a lot of points. I think really Texas defense might have to have a defensive or a special teams touchdown to win the game. Although it's unlikely, I think it's a key factor in the game if they can get one. But you can't really focus and say the defense is going to be the reason why one of these teams wins the game because then you're being naive. It's going to be the offenses that'll win this game.
Okay, I mean, I completely agree. So we'll get back to that game soon. And this game coming up, people were criticizing me for putting on the show. This might be the division. The Temple taking on 4-1 Temple hosting number 23 and undefeated Memphis. This is it. Will, let's start with you. What do you think about this game?
It's very interesting for both teams.
Okay.
It's a must-win for both teams. Temple beat Maryland.
Okay, yeah.
Huge win. Maryland was ranked at the time, so that's a huge win.
And kind of boosting their confidence. They can beat ranked teams. We've seen it already.
Now they're going up against Memphis, on the other hand, ranked as well, 23.
Yep.
Very talented team, so it's going to be a very good game.
Yeah, and obviously we know Memphis obviously lost Darrell Henderson.
Yeah.
They've had great players, Paxton Lynch, Darrell Henderson, obviously. They got to put a lot of offensive points on the board because Maryland came in scoring 79 and 63, and they scored 17 on Temple. So you know Temple's defense, they're ready for Memphis. And let's start with you, Ben. Memphis offense, do they have to get going early?
Well, I would say that the offense is going to have to do well because they're on the road. I think this matchup could favor Temple because they're the home team. Memphis is going to need to score some points on a good Temple defense if they want to win this one and stay undefeated.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. And again, this is probably one of the Temple, they need to win this game to be able to stay alive in the American.
Already have one loss.
Already have one loss in the American too. I'm pretty sure it's East Carolina. They already have one loss. Memphis, on the other hand, is undefeated. Just to kind of, I'm pretty sure them and SMU are the only undefeated teams in the AAC so far because UCF's taken 2. Houston 3 losses. Cincinnati has 1. And so does Temple, 4-1. So Cincinnati Temple, look forward to that one too. But Memphis Temple, be sure to watch that one. That one's going to be. I mean, I'm going to stay low scoring because Memphis defense is pretty good as well. Temple's offense really wasn't able to get going. That a defensive touchdown against Maryland, so that helped propel them to the win. This one could be a blowout or could be close. Depends on if Jimbo Fisher wants to perform and Kellen Mond wants to perform or not. Mm-hmm. Texas A&M hosting Alabama. Ben, let's just start with you. If Texas A&M can stay close and win this and still lose, but if they do stay close in this game, that would be their third loss. So does that help them, or does that pretty much defeat the purpose of a New Year's Six bowl?
Well, I think a third loss would be tough because they're in the SEC and they're still Alabama, Georgia, LSU, Florida in the top 10 right now. So I think a third loss would be tough for them to get into a New Year's Six bowl, and they still have a tough schedule remaining. So I think they're going to lose at least one more game, most likely two. And that would put them setting them up for about probably an Outback Bowl, I think. But it's at home in College Station. They're going to need to score early. They're probably going to need to get a few clutch stops against the Tua-led offense. But I can't see them keeping it close past the midway point of the second quarter. Alabama's just been way too dominant this year.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Alabama, let's start with you this time. A&M, has Alabama even seen a defense pretty much close to Texas A&M so far this season?
I don't think they have.
Okay.
I mean, Ole Miss.
No. If you allow a receiver 215 yards and 6 touchdowns, that's not good. Some games he showed up, and some games not so much.
No.
Especially against Duke. So he's a little inconsistent.
Yeah.
Could that affect him?
It very could.
Okay.
Could. Texas A&M defense, I think, if they can get after him, and get takeaways early in this game, they could
stick with him.
Yeah, they could. I don't know if they can upset, but it could be a very close game.
All right, let's go on to the last one on the slate board. Penn State at Iowa. Iowa took a tough loss.
Yeah.
Last week to Michigan, they were leading the Big Ten West, tied for leading the Big Ten West in points per game with Wisconsin. They didn't score a touchdown in that one. Will, we'll start with you this time. They contained Michigan relatively well, only allowing them 10 points.
Yeah.
That was Michigan. They're in Penn State offense, Sean Clifford and KJ Hamler. One of the most underrated and probably one of the best quarterback wide receiver duos. He's right up there with Trevor Lawrence, Justin Ross, and Devontae Smith, Tua. So Iowa lost 2 cornerbacks in the draft.
Yeah.
They haven't been great this year against KJ Hamler. What are they going to do?
They just got to know what the receiver's going to do.
All right.
Know where they're going, know the routes, just read them, get takeaways, lock them down.
They got to be locked down here.
Just know what you're doing.
And they might even have to put a safety over top of KJ Hamler because there's no way that guy's going to be in single coverage because he's probably the fastest guy in football, and that means everybody else is slower than him. So you can't really put him in single coverage. Ben, coming into this game, I'm not asking who's going to win, but coming into this game, is it favoring Iowa or Penn State?
I think it's favoring Penn State just because they've looked the better team throughout the year. I think it's tough to look at Iowa and say they're going to lose 2 straight games, but Michigan and Penn State are both good opponents. I think it just favors Penn State just a little bit because they've looked more consistent throughout the year. Okay.
Completely agree. So, I think Nate Stanley will have a bounce back game though. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's going to be low scoring. I don't think the defense is going to perform. I think it's going to be, like you said, for Oklahoma, Texas, Ben, quarterback play is going to decide this game. Is it going to be Clifford or Stanley? We need to see that in order to decide who's going to put up more points, who's going to win this game. Because the running back for Iowa, Ivory Kelly Martin, he's good.
He's good.
But they haven't given him enough touches to make him be one of the best in the country. So and Penn State, obviously losing Miles Sanders to the draft, haven't been able to get the running game either. They probably tried 3 different running backs. So I just think it's tough to be able to say which team gets this done. Okay, so anyway, let's move. Game day, game of the week. This may be the best game since LSU Texas. Maybe better.
Maybe.
It's an SEC matchup in Death Valley, the greatest, in my opinion, the best stadium in all of college football, and the most intimidating atmosphere. Florida LSU. Ben, how do you see this game going?
Well, both teams look very solid so far. Florida surprised me last week with how well they played against Auburn. I think it's going to be a tight game, but LSU at home, it's a very tough atmosphere to play, and I think that plays towards the Tigers' favor in this one. Florida is coming off playing Auburn, and they need to go to LSU. It's a tough stretch. I think this matchup just favors Auburn, or LSU rather.
Okay, Will. I mean, what do you? We've seen the defenses of these teams.
I mean,
we know they can play.
Yeah, Florida coming off a huge win against Auburn.
Yeah. Well, okay, so we know Florida's defense is obviously better than LSU's. Because LSU allowed 38 to Texas.
Yeah.
And so what? Florida's facing the number one Heisman contender in all of college football in Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
He's thrown for 300 every game. 17 touchdowns, one interception.
I mean, I feel like people aren't really talking about it.
And almost over 2,000 yards. They have Brad Stewart, they have Sean Davis, they have C.J. Henderson, but when you're going up against Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, well, who do you see this matchup favoring, quarterbacks or receivers?
I'm going to go receivers.
Okay.
I just think they're very stacked.
Justin Jefferson's one of the best in football so far.
Yeah, they have so many great receivers, and it's too much.
Too much for Florida. So you're seeing the offense favoring LSU.
Yeah.
And Ben, if you did not see, there was an ESPN poll ranking the Heisman contenders, and Joe Burrow is number one. Do you agree or disagree with that?
I disagree. I think right now it's got to be Justin Fields from Ohio State. Overall, the teams look so dominant this year, and he's been orchestrating the entire offense. And I think even the defense has been following his leadership. He's pretty much looked unstoppable so far. Buckeyes haven't had a tight game yet. They beat number 25 Cincinnati by 42. Nebraska, that was a game day game by 41. Michigan State by, I think it was 24 points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they've been blowing everybody out, and it's because of him, I feel like.
Well, do you agree with Joe Burrow being number one in the Heisman race? Justin Fields, I mean,
this is very tough.
Joe Burrow has less picks because Fields threw 2. It was a tough game for him against Michigan State. Is it Burrow or is it Fields?
I'm going to go with Fields, actually.
Okay.
I agree with you, Ben. I just feel like they haven't had a bad game.
You're right.
The offense is not
He was either good or great in these games. He has not been bad.
The amount of points they put up, over 30 almost every game.
Okay.
It's very impressive from Fields, and I think he is.
Yeah, it's probably
right now.
Better than Barrett. I think he's better. No, I'm not saying he's better than Haskins. Overall, he's better than Haskins because he can run and he's so fast. His first touchdown at Ohio State was a 51-yard touchdown. Mm-hmm. So you know he can run. So that's good.
And he can throw the ball.
The Heisman. It's just the Heisman race. So you guys disagree? Just comment below which quarterback. Not just quarterback. Just Jonathan Taylor's in the race too. So just which player you think will win the Heisman based on these first 7 weeks we've seen. Will, let's get to our questions of the week. So what was the most surprising game last week? Let's start with you, Ben.
I think it's Stanford beating Washington 23-13. I thought Washington thought that they were a solid Pac-12 team, and Stanford in a downslide this year. Stanford got beat up by UCF, only scored 6 on Oregon, barely beat Oregon State. Then they come in and they hold Washington to 13 points, and it's just a typical year where the Pac-12 beats each other up and doesn't allow anybody to get in the playoff. And if you notice, that's 2 straight weeks where the 15th team in the country from the Pac-12 and loses. This week it's Utah, so maybe Utah go down this week.
Okay. Will, you can
All right, so I got Texas Tech upsetting Oklahoma State.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, great win for Texas Tech. 45 points put up.
Okay.
And Oklahoma State at 35. Oklahoma State was 21 at the time. They dropped out.
Yes, they are dropping out.
I mean, that offense.
Yeah.
They're
Alan Bowman looked great in that game for Texas Tech.
But Texas Tech, very impressive team. I know they're not ranked right now, but they possibly could slide in.
Okay,
maybe
after this week, you mean?
Yep, if they can get a win, but
that's most surprising. Okay, my most surprising game last week. I was stuck between Auburn and Florida. Because
obviously.
that was in Iowa, Michigan, but I'm going to go with Iowa, Michigan. The Michigan defense hadn't looked at all what they put up. They put up 8 sacks against Nate Stanley, more than they had put up in the rest of the games combined that season. Patterson, he didn't look great, but he didn't look awful
It wasn't terrible.
like he did against Army or Wisconsin. And the offense, I'm not going to say it got going, but it was consistent the entire game, unlike Wisconsin, where they were just 3 and outs every drive into the fourth quarter. So I think their ability to be able to hold Stanley and Brandon Smith, Ivory Kelly Martin, all those great Iowa receivers and running backs, I honestly think that I was really surprised to see Michigan's defense pull up the stop.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on. Who should be ranked that is not in the top 25? We'll start with you this time.
Go with Minnesota, 5-0.
They are 5-0. That's correct.
They haven't played that great of teams, but they're putting up lots of points.
Okay.
They're in the Big Ten, so good conference, and I just think they deserve to be in there. They beat Purdue, crushed Illinois, so
yeah. Ben?
Well, I was going to go with Minnesota, but I guess I'm going to go with Pittsburgh. 4-2 record, really could be 5-1. Had a really close game at Penn State they lost. Only 2 losses right now are both against ranked teams, Virginia and Penn State. 2 good wins over UCF and Duke. They're a solid team that really hasn't gotten any attention. They won their ACC division last year, got blown out by Clemson, but no one's been talking about them. I think they could be a candidate if they're on bye this week, but with a win at Syracuse next week, 5-2. I think they could be a candidate to slide in at number 24, 25.
All right. Right now, I have to go with Tulane. Their defense has been great. I mean, the last second win over Houston was phenomenal, but what I'm focused on is how they've been able to keep a 4-1 record, and that only loss was to SMU. They were up 30-9. They could have won that game. They're containing of Shane Buechele, and they could have held out. They would have been ranked this week. So I think they deserve to be ranked, even with that loss. I think they're a very, very good football team with weapons on all sides of the ball. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I really do think that Tulane should be ranked this week. All right, let's move on. Who should not be in the rankings that is? And Ben, we're going to start with you.
It's Texas A&M. They underwhelmed the entire year. They're most likely going to lose again this week. They'll drop to 500 on the year. They really don't have a good win yet. They beat Lamar, and they got a neutral victory over Arkansas in a 4-point game where Arkansas was playing their backup quarterback, and they beat Texas State in the first game of the year. They really haven't done anything yet, and in their 2 close games that they were supposed to be marquee games that could get them into the playoff, they've flopped and lost both of them. So I have no idea why they are ranked still.
Okay. Well,
Cincinnati.
You really don't think Cincinnati should be ranked after beating UCF?
I don't. I mean, UCF, great team, but I mean, they've been shaky all year.
All right.
Lost to Pitt, almost, or no, did they lose Pitt?
Yes, they did.
So, I mean, and it's 1 game for Cincinnati. Huge one, though, 27-24. I just don't think that's enough, but they're still
in the rankings, okay?
Yeah, but they're still a very talented team.
Okay.
It's tough.
It's tough for me because you guys took all the good ones.
Yeah.
I really want to go with the Iowa Hawkeyes right now. Obviously they didn't lose by 21 and drop, 11 spots like Michigan did.
Yeah.
But they should have dropped farther. And I don't really know if they should be a ranked team right now based on just how they performed against Michigan. They allowed 8 sacks. The offensive line, and they had 17 rushing yards. 17 rushing yards. The offensive line could not block at all. And if you're allowing 8 sacks to Michigan, who couldn't get to Jack Cohen at all, then you might be worried about the Penn State game coming up, and you'll lose that. You're definitely not going to be ranked, but I don't even think they should be ranked to begin with right now. All right, Super Dogs. Here we go. Will, start with you.
Houston.
Houston against UC?
Against UC. It's in Houston.
Okay.
So it's pretty hard atmosphere to play in.
Okay.
Houston, they played Oklahoma this year. I mean, they didn't play terrible.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah,
I mean, they didn't
put up 31. So
against the Oklahoma defense. That's pretty good. I think if they can score a lot of points early, they could possibly upset UC. Because I mean, that UC defense isn't.
Yeah, Derek King is phenomenal.
Yeah, so Houston.
All right. Yeah, and he broke Tim Tebow's record. A long time ago when they played Tulane. I ended up losing, but still, broke Tulane with 15 straight games, no rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown. Yeah. It's amazing. Ben, who's your super dog?
I got the Washington Huskies. They're getting 6 against Arizona. Arizona's quarterback Khalil Tate is not fully healthy. Washington don't think they're going to drop 2 straight Pac-12 games. I think they're going to win this one outright.
Okay. My super dog is, Ben, you might be familiar. We haven't talked about these guys since episode 1. The Hawaii Rainbow Warriors playing Boise State on a Saturday night. Boise State's predicted to win by 12.5. A little too much there.
Yeah.
I just think Cedric Byrd has been statistically, on paper, the best receiver in football this season. He got 4 touchdowns in the game against Arizona. And he's had multiple almost every game since. So, on paper, he's been the best receiver in football. And I think if the defense can step up, because, obviously they played Arizona. Now they're playing Boise State with Hank Backmeyer. The freshman QB has been outstanding this season.
Phenomenal.
They got a chance in this one. I think they could possibly upset Boise State. I don't see them winning outright, but they'll definitely cover 12.5. Definitely. All right, let's move on to my favorite segment, the picks, baby. Saturday selections. We're going to start with the Red River rivalry. Well,
it was very tough.
Okay.
Both these teams are very talented, but I'm going to go with Oklahoma.
All right.
I feel like the quarterback is better. Sam Ehlinger is phenomenal, but Jalen Hurts is a little better. I think he's going to get to this Texas defense and put up a lot of points.
All right. Ben?
There'll be a lot of points, but I think Oklahoma's going to outscore Texas. I think it'll be a fairly close game, probably within 10 points, but I got the Sooners.
I'm also going to go with Oklahoma. Texas tries to pull the strategy they did last year in the Red River rivalry game, which was basically Tom Herman said to his players, let's not contain Kyler Murray, let's just outscore him. It worked. He tried to do the same thing in the Pac-12 championship and they lost by 12. He's going to try to do the same thing again. Different quarterback. It's not going to work this time, bud. Oklahoma pulls this one out by double digits. All right, Memphis at Temple. Will?
Very tough. It's hard. I'm going to go with Temple, actually.
Okay, yeah.
Great win versus Maryland. I think if you can beat Maryland, why can't you beat Memphis? This defense is very good. They held Maryland to 17 points.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, I think they can do that to Memphis as well. So, I got Temple.
Ben?
I agree. I actually got Temple. They were a super dog contender for me, but since they were on the board, couldn't pick them. I got Temple.
It's kind of hard for me. I just don't think Memphis offense has the power to get past Temple, so I'm going to go with the Owls as well. It'll be close. It'll be low scoring. Both teams will be under 20, but I just think in the end, Temple will pull out a clutch defensive stop. Alabama taking on A&M.
Huge game for A&M. If they lose, they're out.
Yeah.
They're already out, to be honest. It's the SEC. But I got Alabama.
Okay.
I think they're going to rout them, honestly.
All right.
I know this A&M defense is very impressive, but Till is just too good. And I think Alabama gets a good one here.
Ben?
I got Alabama. I don't think it'll be close. A&M hasn't, like I said earlier, hasn't done anything this year. Alabama's looked perfect so far. I got them by 20 plus.
I also have Alabama by 20 plus. It's not going to be too low because in the games where we have not been watching, like Duke, he struggled. But in the big games, that's where he excels. So this one is going to be a big game, so it's 2 all day. Sorry, I didn't say not to it. It's going to be 2.
Yeah.
He excels in the big games. The ones that we're not watching, not so much. But I also think it's going to be the running game that's going to get going. Najee Harris is going to have a huge game for Bama. I see him pulling it out by 20 plus. Penn State, Iowa. Well.
It's very tough. I'm going to go with Penn State.
All right.
Iowa, they're kind of coming off I wouldn't say a bad loss because 10 points coming up to Michigan isn't that bad. But they scored 3 points.
All right.
And that whole line just got destroyed.
Humble that game, yeah.
And I got Penn State, D-line. I mean, I don't know what you can do, honestly, to stop them. So I got Penn State winning.
Ben?
I'm actually going to take Iowa in this one. At home, I think the matchup favors Penn State, but I think Iowa will win the game. It's tough because Penn State's got a good offense, Iowa's got a good defense. Iowa's going to score some points, and I think that they will score just enough to win.
I'm also going to go with the Hawkeyes. I don't see Sean Clifford. First of all, his best opponent was Pitt. And I think Iowa's a lot different than Pitt. They bounced back. Christian Welch, Big Ten defensive player, one of the Big Ten nominees for the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year award last year. And I think he really proves that in this game. I think he had multiple sacks, probably 9 tackles. I just think Penn State, you can't run the ball, and trying to throw against Iowa quarterbacks is like trying to break a rock with your hands. It's not going to happen, and Iowa pulls it out with D. All right, game day game of the week. This is a big one. Yeah, LSU, Florida. Well,
Alrighty, so it's very tough. Probably the hardest game to pick.
Definitely. Hardest game.
I want to go Florida so bad, but I just can't.
Okay.
LSU in Death Valley. I mean, Alabama's the only team that's upset them. That's twice, correct?
Yes, sir.
They're 30-2, like you said. I mean, that is so impressive in Death Valley. I just think Florida's quarterback, Kyle Trapp, he is very good, but I mean, it's Death Valley.
It is Death Valley.
I don't think he's going to be able to.
Yeah, but I forgot to mention this before. LSU's favored by 13.5. So, like that. Might change your mind at picking this underdog way down here. Ben.
I got LSU, and I really hope LSU wins because Kyle Trask has been proving me wrong pretty much ever since he stepped in against Kentucky. When Franks went down, I thought Kentucky was for sure going to get that win. I thought Auburn was going to go into Gainesville in the swamp and win the game last week. I don't think he's going to keep doing it this week. I got LSU in a close game, probably a field goal or a touchdown.
Joe Burrow, the games we haven't been paying attention to, is exactly like Tua. But he hasn't struggled in the games we haven't been paying attention to. He's been, like, above average, a lot above average in the games we haven't, listened to at all, watched.
Yeah.
But against Texas, he threw for 418 and 4 touchdowns. That's not just above average. That's excellent.
Yeah,
he does it again tonight. He rips the Florida secondary apart. Burrow really proves he is the Heisman winner this year, and he lights up Florida for a really big game. So it's going to be close, but
it is. Yeah.
In the end, I got to go Joe Burrow and LSU. Will, before you go, what would be the most surprising upset this week?
We'll go Temple. Are we allowed to game on the board?
Yeah, you are.
I like Temple. I mean, they beat Maryland, so I really think they can beat Memphis, and those are 2 big wins, so Temple.
Okay. Ben?
Washington State over Arizona State. The line's only 1 in favor of Arizona State. Mike Leach's going to get his guys ready, and they're going to get the road upset.
Okay, this is really tough for me, honestly. There will be a lot of games that you'll see this week that are going to be good and surprising. But in the end, it's tough for me. But I'm pretty much stuck between A&M because I think I can do it. I'm not that sure, but I'm actually going to go with Florida State and Clemson. I don't think it's going to be an upset, but everyone thinks Florida State's been awful, which you're not wrong. They have been.
Yeah.
They can stick with decent teams, but the real upset is Colorado against Oregon tonight. Is it tonight?
Yeah, it's 10 p.m.
Okay, 10 p.m. tonight. Stevie Montez, he's already upset 1 in Arizona State when I put my faith in him for my Superdog. Why not another in Justin Herbert in Oregon? I think Montez gets it done, and I think Colorado takes down another ranked team.
They've also beat Nebraska.
Nebraska, too.
Yeah.
So this would be the 3rd ranked team win.
Yeah.
All right. Guys, thanks for watching. Will, I appreciate you being here. Ben, I appreciate you taking your time. All right, so you guys be sure to watch all the great games this weekend, especially LSU Florida. So be sure to like, sub, and ring the bell for more great vids. Peace.